What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Arkansas Pro Style Playbook in College Football 25. This is the Bobby Petrino offense. He's been around forever, had crazy success at Louisville both times back in the mid-2000s, and then recently when Lamar Jackson was there, and he's bounced around at a couple different places. Of course, Arkansas, everybody knows how that went. Well, now he's back at Arkansas as the offensive coordinator, and he's just considered one of the best minds in the game for the offensive side of the ball. So we're going to look at his offense today. We're going to look at the formations and concepts and play types and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video, you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So the game considers this a pro-style playbook, and I guess Petrino is kind of known for that, but it's got some other things as well. It's not a very big playbook on top of that. Now, the bulk of the playbook is going to be shotgun. We're going to cover this here in a little bit, but let's talk about pistol. We got one pistol formation. It's U off trips. It's a 12 personnel set, and it's got 18 plays in it. Nothing too crazy. Some RPOs, runs, play actions, just typical stuff, nothing too crazy. Then we got I formation. We got one. It's I form tight. That's a 22 personnel formation. We got a flea flicker. We got a run play action on top of that. Again, no real pre-snap motion, nothing too crazy. Here's a nice little Power O series with a stretch built on top of that, and basic dives and such. Again, nothing too wild, but if you need to sprinkle in some bigger formations, you can use this, and you can sprinkle in a little pistol. But the bulk of the playbook is shotgun, so that's where we're going to go next. Split slot offset. This is a 20 personnel formation. You see the two backs with the slot receiver at number 6. We got 21 plays there. Then we get into our first 12 personnel set in shotgun. That is ace offset. You see number 8 and 9 are your tight ends. Then we got U off trips weak, another 12 personnel set. Then doubles Y off. Now we're getting to our first 11 personnel, and I'll go ahead and tell you the bulk of this is going to be 11, like with most playbooks. Then we got doubles Y off weak, so the weak version of that. Then we got flex Y off. Then we got Y off trips. Then we got Y off trips weak. Then we got spread halfback weak. And this is where we still got 11 personnel with 18 plays there. Then we got spread flex, more 11 personnel. Again, number 9 is your tight end. Then we get finally into a 10 personnel look, and that is just basic trips. Then trips offset, and that's another 10 personnel look. And then trio 4 wide receiver strong. So we got a little bit more 10 personnel, which I'm a big fan of. I like to have a little variety in my personnel groupings. I don't need 95% of the playbook to be 11 personnel like some of these are. Then we get into the empty base trio. That is technically an 11 personnel set. Your halfback and tight end are out there. And we got a true 5 wide receiver set. So maybe that's another reason why they consider pro style. It just got a nice variety of personnel groupings. So there you go. Let's just start off. What I always like to do is, actually, before we head into the actual plays and such, just kind of notice the bulk of these formations have an offset halfback. So you notice the halfbacks are at the hip of the quarterback, slightly behind them, and this one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And guess what? Just more flex type stuff. And then we finally get the one where he's right beside the quarterback, but then you go right in the spread flex, more. Then here's trips. Then guess what? More offset, another offset. So you get the hint, just a ton of offset. This gives you more of a vertical downhill running game. I think it's a little bit easier as opposed to him just being right beside the quarterback all the time. All right, let's go to the very beginning. And what I always like to do is look for pre-snap motion. And this playbook has quite a bit for it not being a very big playbook. Starting off, we have some halfback swing. We got our read bubble. We got a motion double pass. And we got an RPO built on top of that. So I'm going to do just the basic bubble, and we'll go up against a random 3-3-5. Super simple play here. You only got one thing to do. You just got to bounce it out to here. And this is technically an RPO per se. At least I think it was, unless I mistook that or didn't read that one correctly. But again, you're just getting your halfback out in the motion. So yes, it is an RPO. So you can run it or you can just hand it off right there. We keep on going. We have more halfback swing. We got a stick. We got zone weak. We got play action on top of that. Then we got more halfback swing. We got a wide cross, little air raid. We got some triple option, and we got a basic halfback swing on top of that. And guess what? More halfback swing. So if you're a halfback swing guy, this formation is definitely for you. We got more play action and inside zone. Play action, more wide cross. Then we got a spot. Guess what? More wide cross. Just tons of it in here. Then we get a speed option, some shakes, and then that is it for your pre-snap motion. But again, use this formation. You got a couple of halfbacks. You want to get both of them out in the flat doing those halfback swings and such. Ace offset. Do we have any here? We start off with a jet touch pass. Then we got a Z motion over here with flanker drive. I'm going to go ahead and call that one. That looks pretty sexy. This is just a basic drive concept with a backside comeback. Let's say they are going zone, it appears. So I'm going to just go to my drag and just pick up an easy yards there. Just really simple stuff. But again, I think it's pretty cool. Just adding more window dressing to the concept. Do we have more in here? I think we do. Yeah, so we got another Z motion with Z spot. And that is it. So what about you off trips week? We have more halfback swing. We got a fade smash. We got stick and verticals. Do we have any more here? What about doubles Y off? I think this is where we get into our first jet sweep or some more of it. We got pass fake zone. We got the jet itself. Then we got jet sweep. And we got the touch pass. Then we got power on top of that if you got a quarterback that can run a little bit. Then we got fake jet halfback seam if you need a little vertical in your window dressing with your motion and such. So a lot of window dressing, a lot of pre-snap motion in that formation. Then we go doubles Y off week. We got some in here. I'm pretty sure we do. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's flex Y off. I think this is like a unique formation, if I'm not mistaken. This looks kind of like a rare one to me. I don't see it too often, but there's no pre-snap motion in it. What about Y off trips? There we go. We have our first, I call it Y return motion, where he goes to one side and then the ball snap and he runs right back to his original spot. So you got a zone blitz, you got a PA mountain slide, you got Y read option. I'm gonna go ahead and just run this basic zone split. We'll go up against random nickel. Looks like they're bringing down the safety. Going to bring an extra dude in the box. Just go right here. Then what you can do is you can build a lot off of that. You can run play action on top of that. Get that tight end out in the flat, as we're going to see right here. You go down, there we go. So you got your PA motion slide with the backside comeback, or in a frontside comeback and a backside crosser. Then we keep on going. We got more halfback swing. I guess this is our most popular motion concept in the playbook. We got stick and screen and stick and nod. You got a Y off trips week. What else do we have here? Do we have any? Yes, we got more halfback swing. Z spot, your basic swing, and then you got a pump and go. I'm going to try the pump and go. I'd love to try to do this like against a cover zero. Let's see if we can make this work. Just see if I can hit the switch combo somewhere over there. Let's see if I can do... I think I may hit the post on this one. Can I get it? Oh, he's wide open. Nice play. I love it. Really cool stuff. You want a little run and shoot in your playbook. You got a little bit of it there. Again, with some window dressing and play action built in on top of that. So that's a nice little series right there. And let's go over to spread halfback week. Normally there's not as much pre-snap motion in your more spread sets. As you see right here, there isn't any. Then we got spread flex. Let me quickly look. I don't think we got any here. Trips, not this as well. Again, it's usually when you get to your 12 and 11 personnel groupings is when they like to get really wild with your pre-snap motions. Trio, 4 wide receiver strong, same thing, just nothing here. Then we get into our empty sets. A lot of empty sets will not have pre-snap motion, as you can see right here. But if you want to get any pre-snap motion, all of these formations right here are going to have at least some of it in there. Really cool stuff. So there are your formations. I want to talk about personnel groupings, and this is probably one of my favorite things about the playbook. It's got a good variety. Yes, it's got a ton of 11 personnel, like all playbooks in this game, it seems. 23, that is your goal line. Your 20 is your split offset, so at least you got one of them. 32 is your QB kneel. 22 is your I-form type. 21 is your clock management. Then we get into 12. You got a little bit here. You got ace offset and U off trips week, along with the pistol version of that. And then probably my favorite thing is we got enough 10 personnel where I can sneak in that 4th wide receiver if needed with trips, offset, and 4 wide receiver strong. And you even have some 5 wide, which again, I love. So again, not a good variety here of personnel groupings. I think that sets it apart for some other, to me, this still feels like a spread playbook in a sense, but I guess with all this personnel groupings, I can see why they call it pro style. And Bobby Petrino, that's what he's known for. So let's talk about concepts. Now, you see the play counts here. There's not a lot of plays in this playbook. You don't need 600 plays to run an effective offense. You barely need 100. You don't really need that, honestly. So this is a nice, I guess, a starter pro style playbook. There's just not a whole lot in here, but there's enough to get you going. So let's start off with the run concepts. 19 zones. As you would expect, this is the most common in run concept in the game, as with most playbooks. We got 9 counters if you need some pulling action, either with a guard or a tight end. If you got plenty of counter, we're going to have some power. So we got a couple ISOs, and then there you go. We got some power. So power and counter just kind of go together. You got 8 draws. You're going to do any drop back passing. You might as well sprinkle in a little bit of draw. You got outside zone 8. This is actually a high number, especially since there's not a lot of pistol. We only got 1 pistol formation. Most of these are from the guns. So if you need to go off tackle a little bit, you can definitely do that. Let's see if I can pull something off right here, cut up field, and I saw a nice little crease up the B gap. Really good stuff there. So you got some outside zone. So again, a little bit more variety in the run game. It's not just run up the gut type stuff. Then we got 1 sweep, and you got 4 traps. Although this was another unique thing, this is, to me, is a high number for trap. Now, some people don't like the pulling guards and such, but if you like trap, you have 4. Again, that, to me, that is a high number compared to what I've seen in other playbooks. Let's look at some options. So we got even less option to run. So there's not a ton of option type stuff in here, but you got some. So you got 8 RPO reads, you got 7 peaks, and we've already seen some of these already in the formation section. Inverted veer, one of those. You got a couple of load/speed options, and you got 14 read options. This is usually your most common run-oriented option concept. Then you got, those are those 2 speeds. We got 1 triple if you need a little bit. Again, there's not a lot, but you got 1. In your zone option, this is technically a speed option play. And then you got 9 alerts. So you got a handful of RPOs if you need it, between 9, 8, and 7, and some of those are already blended in amongst those 3 concepts. But you got a little bit here, but again, not a ton. Quick pass, we got 4 Ohios if you like the go and outside little out route underneath it. There you go. You got 1 Omaha. You got 10 slants. If you're going to have that many slants, you'll probably have that many sticks. So you got 8 sticks, and stick and slant tend to go together. And I suggest you just use both unless you're just really loving one or the other. Like, I'm a big stick guy. I think I just enjoy it because I really enjoy the air raid. All right, medium pass. We got 5 slot cross. Do you remember those slots and wide crosses we talked about earlier as we were going through the formations? Well, some of that is right here. Then we got 5 choice, any type of option route you can think of. They're going to dump it in this section. We got 10 curls, so think curl, hitch, things of that nature are going to be right here. So this is a perfect example. You got a basic curl flat combo on either side of these 2 plays, and then the one in the middle, there's a little hitch. You got 10 of those. You got 5 double moves. You got 1 drive. You got 1 level. You got only 1 mesh. 7 Salem. So you go back and look at Salem. This is like a little hitch with something over the top. It's not always going to be a dig. Sometimes it's not even a hitch. As you see here with motion Y cross, that is not a hitch. That is a crosser. So pretty much a shorter route underneath the dig. They're going to pretty much put, oh, my bad. Let's go to Salem. There we go. So you go here, notice like Z spot. That is not a hitch by that left tight end. That is an out route. So pretty much a shorter route right underneath the dig. They're pretty much going to put this right here in Salem. But there's at least 7 of them, as you can see. A nice little variety of things. Now you go to shallow cross. We got 2 of those. We got 12 smash, which is actually one of the higher numbers here, but that's still a really low number compared to what we've seen in other playbooks. You got 7 spot. So anytime you have this much spot, it's probably going to be a pro style playbook. This is just classic West Coast / pro style concept. And then you got 1 Texas route. All right, let's go to deep pass. We actually have more deep than medium. That kind of gives you a hint of what he likes to do. 12 floods. So if you like to flood one side, I'm going to call Y sail. This is like a nice little air raid concept. So you pretty much got a flood on one side with a backside dig on the other. Looks like the halfback is kind of open, and good defense right there by the corner. But good stuff right there. I really enjoy flood. I think it's just a very simple thing to kind of keep up with. Can you get that? Oh, good defense by the safety. Either way, I like flood. You got some of it in here. Let's go back. We have 7 comebacks. If you like the comeback route, I'm a big fan of it. You got 6 daggers. Daggers are pretty good. It's pretty much a go with a dig underneath that. You see all 3 of these are kind of like that. You got a couple divides. You got 3 double digs. So notice the dig route is very popular in this playbook. So if you like the dig route, you're going to have a nice variety from flood, from divide, from double dig. You go to double post, 7 of these. I'm not the biggest fan of double post. I think the routes are just too close to each other for my liking, but there's some of it in here. You got got 12 verticals. Just think all of your all goes, just things of in that category. 2 meals, again, more meals. You're probably going to find a dig of some sort. You got 1 Portland. You got 13 shot play, some play action and some not play action, but just kind of like switches and post and goes. Then speaking of switch, you got 3 of these. So notice again, a lot of digs, and they're going to come from meals. They're going to come from divides and double digs and flood as well. So think dig when you think Bobby Petrino, especially in shallow cross as well. Play action. It says we only got 6, but we know better. There's going to be more in here. It says we got a couple of boots and we got 4 slides. And the same with screens. We got 13 bubble screens. We've already seen some of these in the RPOs we looked at earlier. We got some shocks. We got some bubbles. You go to flanker screen. We got 9 of these. Like I'm going to call this jailbreak screen. I haven't called one of these in forever. This is pretty simple. You got to go around on one side, but this play is essentially meant to go to that guy. That's the problem with that play. I don't call it a whole lot because you don't have enough options. That's why a lot of people tend to use RPOs. If you see a corner come down, you just hand the ball off. But anyway, you got 9 of these, and you got a few wide receiver mid screens. But if you go over to play type and you go to pass, you go to screen pass, we technically got 22 screens that are not RPO related. So this is going to be a heavy screen game, especially for as small as a playbook as it is. And you go over to play action, we got 36 of those. So run, play action, screen, hit those digs. That's kind of the gist of the entire offense. You go to runs, we've already looked at these in different ways, but we've got 35 inside handoffs, 8 outsides, a pitch, some of your counters, your draws, your fullback runs, and we got 3 QB runs. We got that jet pass power we looked at earlier. We got a QB blast, so this is out of gun empty. Let me go like against dime and just random. So if you got a quarterback that can run it a little bit, you can get something going with him if you want to spread everybody out and you need to pick up a couple yards or whatever. This will be a pretty decent play to use. And so you got a few QB runs right there. Option, again, this is not an option-heavy offense. You got 19 of them, but most of them are just basic read options with a little bit of speeds and loads and things of that nature. Then we got some RPOs. We've already looked at these. We got 7 of them reads. We got those 8 peaks, and we have 9 alerts. So this is kind of a shorter video than most because it's just not a very big playbook. You go back and look to your concepts, just less than 60 of everything except for deep pass. We got 68 of those. I'm used to seeing other playbooks that got like 80 mediums and 90 deeps or like a ton of option. Again, just a smaller pro style playbook that's a little more modern. I think this is kind of what you're looking for. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.